Hey. Okay, first off, I've never made a video for anything, for any reason, but I put a recipe on Facebook the other day, and it was that stovetop and chicken and sour cream mix, and then you baked it, and it was a casserole. So everybody was like, "How did you do that? How did you do that?" So I am going to show you a new recipe. It's old to me, but it might be new to you all, and it is fantastic, and it's super easy because most people are intimidated by this and think they can't make it, and it's one of the easiest recipes I've ever made. Don't pay any attention to all the crap on the counter back there because we just got back from Mount Sterling. My cousin Tina showed me this recipe years ago, and it was like my favorite. It's been my favorite. It's the favorite everywhere I take it. It's another recipe that we never have leftovers. Like maybe the next day we will eat it just as good as we did the first day, because most people don't eat a lot of leftovers. You know, food goes to waste. But when we make this, it's always eaten, and it is homemade, semi-homemade chicken pot pie. Everything is out of a can. It's like dumping it in and baking it. And so all you get is a pie crust, ready-made, Pillsbury or the Kroger brand, whatever kind you want. Mixed vegetables, a can of mixed vegetables, chicken gravy, and the Knorr noodles. I use these noodles, and a can of chicken. And that's all the ingredients are. It is super easy, and I'm going to show you how to put it together, and you're going to be making chicken pot pie. So let me get this adjusted to where you can see what I'm doing. I just dump everything, and I do not drain anything. So I'm going to dump the chicken in, and I have one of these Pampered Chef. I think it's in here. It's the thing that you use to mash your hamburger up with if you're making like chili. This is a good little utensil to have. You can probably get it at the Dollar Tree too. But I just take it and mash up my chicken into little pieces so it's not chunky, because I don't want chunky chicken. So I get it good and mashed up. You can see it in there. Like I said, I've never made a video before, but that casserole was so easy and you all liked it so much. And I was going to go Facebook Live on this, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because I want to bake it and show you the end of it. So I'll edit this video ever how I need to. And then I'm going to take my can of vegetables, and I'm not draining it because those noodles need moisture to cook. So I'm not draining my vegetables. And I actually think that I used to use 2 cans of vegetables and 2 cans of chicken gravy. Sometimes I use 1 can of each. This is a pretty good big pie plate. I think I'm going to use, if I can get my chicken gravy open. There goes my kid trying to stay out of the video. He was going to be my photographer, but we found a stand. All right, so my can of chicken gravy. You see what I'm doing? I'm just dumping it all in. Another one of my favorite Pampered Chef tools right here is this spatula. It's fantastic. And I'm gonna kind of see how this goes. I don't measure anything, so it's really hard for me to cook and remember how I've done it. I think I'm just going to use 1 of each. I don't think I'm going to use both cans, unless I've already opened. I don't think I opened either can. I'm going to go 1 each, because this looks like enough filling for this pie. You can add more vegetables. You can add more gravy. You can add more chicken if you want, but it's just me and Grant, so. And I may put a little salt in it. It's kind of salty. I'm a saltaholic though, so I may just put a little salt in it and a little pepper. Not that pepper. Sometimes I'll put fresh rosemary in it. I think I have some old rosemary here, not old, but like that came out of my front yard that I've dried over there. So just, rosemary's real strong, so just a tiny bit. All right, there's our, you see that? There's a light back here, but it keeps falling on. Ooh. So that's all you do, is just mix it up like that. Then you're gonna roll out your pie crust. I lost my scissors. I don't know where my kitchen scissors are. I'll use a knife. So the pie crust comes looking like this. It's just in a row, and I've been letting it thaw. It comes frozen. It's a lot easier to roll out if you've let it thaw. You might want to spray your bottom of your pie pan. I used to have the deep dish baker that came from Pampered Chef to make this in, and oh my gosh, it was so great, and I dropped it and broke it. Now I've got the tiny one and it's too little. So I'm just gonna spread out my pie crust and work it around the edges and bring it up. And it will stretch out. You just have to work with it for a second. I'll probably edit this to make it quicker. I'm at 6 minutes right now. I don't want it to be over 10 minutes total. Alright, so you get it in the bottom of the pan, your pie plate. And then just dump it in. And it's juicy. You're gonna see it's really runny. And it's gonna be really runny after you bake it too, but you have to let it sit for like 30 minutes before you cut into it. The longer you let it sit, the better it is, but we can never wait. We can never ever wait on getting it out. My kid loves this. So there it is in the pan. Up. See, it fills out really good. I had plenty of stuff. I didn't need to put 2 cans in it, but if you have a deep dish, you can use 2 cans of everything. Make a double recipe and use 1 pie crust. And take the other one, because these pie crusts come in 2, so there's always 2 pie crusts in there. They come in 2, and you can trim the top of it, but I'm going to show you a little trick that I do. You just lay it on top. And if you have a smaller pie pan, you want to roll I always roll the edges, because I used to make it in a smaller one, but this one's big enough so I don't have to roll them. But I always roll the edges because it gave me that good crust on it. It's oozing out. I'm trying to pinch it around. If you want to get fancy, you can take your fork and make little pinches around the edges. I don't know if y'all know how to do that or not. It's super easy. Sometimes I'll cut a little heart in the edge, but if you want cool little fancy edges, you just kind of prick it with your fork all the way around like this. If you're ever wondering how they did that, easy. I don't care for fancy edges, but it seals your pie crust together so it don't bubble out the sides. So I guess that's the purpose. And it also looks kind of pretty. Okay, so there's that. Let me move it closer so you can see it. See my little crimped edges? Now, set that back up. All right, and you need to vent the top of your pie. So I usually put a little slit, at least 4, maybe 1 in the middle. You can decorate it, make little slits all around it, just so You see my little slits. All right, I'm gonna stick it in the oven, and I bake everything at 350, and it takes this about 50 minutes. An hour's usually a little much, but about 45, 50 minutes. Check it at 45 and pull it out. If it's not brown on top, as brown as you want it, just stick it back in for the next 10 minutes. So an hour is probably too much. So just start checking on it after 45. Then pull it out of the oven and let it sit for, I don't know, 30 minutes if you can wait. 30 minutes if you can wait. All right, that's how you make a homemade chicken pot pie. And I will show you the finished product. Another couple of things while my oven's heating up is if you want that shiny top on your pie, then break you an egg and take out the yolk, just the egg white, and dip your brush in your egg white, and then just brush the top of it. I don't ever do that, but it makes it pretty. We don't really care if it's pretty, but if you want it to be shiny and pretty on top and get this really goldy, crusty looking, then you can just put an egg wash on it. All right, I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, here's the finished product. Just pulling it out of the oven. I'm gonna let it sit for a minimum of 30 minutes, and then I will come back and cut it and show you all. Okay, the pie's finished, and it has been in the oven a while, so here it is. I turned the oven off and left and had band practice. So now I took it out, it's still warm, and I'm going to cut it and show you. So it's been sitting for several hours, but it's really solidified good, so you'll be able to see what it looks like if you let it sit for a little while. I'm gonna cut it out here. And this is my favorite Pampered Chef tool ever. And it's only like $6 maybe. And it's a tiny spatula, and it is the best tool that there is. So here is what the pot pie looks like. Let's see if I can get it out. And it'll be pretty. There it is. This is your chicken pot pie. Super easy, super good. We never have leftovers. There's the noodles. My sister makes fun of me because there's noodles in it, but I love them. So that's what it looks like. So y'all try the super easy chicken pot pie. You're gonna love it. Well, that's how you make chicken pot pie. Super easy, I told you. I hope you try this. I'm a single mother, and I want things easy as possible to make at home. So that's why I told you all about the casserole with the stove top. And this pot pie recipe. I have an enchilada one that's really easy that we like to do. So I'm gonna take a bite, and I hope y'all try this. And let me know if you watch this, and if you like it, I might make some more. I don't know, it's the first video I've ever made. So y'all enjoy your evening. And enjoy your pot pie. I'll eat on this all week, if there's any left, if Grant doesn't eat it. So thanks for watching. I also want some pot pie too, don't you, Carl? You want some pot pie? Do you like pot pie? You do?